There's always a plane at my place. I don't live like beside the airport, but planes fly. And I'm back. Am I focused? I am. Okay. So here's the thing. I have a confession to make. I haven't been reading as much as I said I would, which frustrates me, but it's okay because most of my week has been taken up reading for Plural's 4th issue. So we're finally sifting through the submissions from the 4th issue, and we had about 97 prose submissions ranging from flash fiction all the way to long fiction and essays. And we're hoping to release the issue, I think, by end of December, so we're really rushing everything. So I haven't gotten through the list of books that I showed in my previous video, but if you want to see the stuff that I hope to still read before the year ends, I'll leave a link down below to my previous video. But today it's all about a book tag, because book tags are fun. There's a lot of book tags going around. Basically just googled book tag and landed on, I think this is the 4th search result on Google, and I just sort of browsed through it and thought, okay, these questions are fun. Well, I guess I should say where this book tag came from. So according to this blog post that I just landed on, this was started by a YouTuber, BenJune327, and this tag, I'm actually under like a blog post that's been up since 2013, so this is probably a really darn old book tag, but I like the questions anyway, and I'm going to answer them. So credits to you, BenJune327, if you're still on YouTube. Maybe I should search you. So yeah, so let's get on to the book tag. Enough talking for me. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So here we go. Book tag time. Here are the questions. So question number 1. Do you have a certain place at home for reading? Why can't I say anything? I do have this little nook. I do have this little nook in the corner of my room, just right next to my work desk, which is right here. But most of the time I do read either on the couch or on my bed. Most of the time on the bed, just either before I go to sleep or just when I'm taking a break from just being on my desk and just really wanting to sit on something comfy. So I would read from my bed, and yeah. Bookmark, question number 2. Bookmark or a random piece of paper. I used to like bookmarks. I used to think, you know, I'm into books, I should be into bookmarks, right? Nope. I can't stand bookmarks. I lose them all the time. They take up space in my table, they're just scattered everywhere. And I find them just so flimsy. Like if you put a bookmark in a book, you walk, it drops, you lose your page, you're like, So I don't even use random pieces of paper, because I find that those also get lost somewhere in the pages of my book, or get like fall off in my bag or wherever, it just falls off. So I just fold the corners of the page, which is, I don't think a lot of people like to do that, and they might think like, oh my god, you're ruining the pages of your book. I don't really care. I actually like knowing, I actually like it when my book looks and feels like it's been read quite a lot. I'm just going to talk through the planes, because if I'm going to stop every single time, this video is never going to get filmed. You know? Oh. So yeah, I don't use a bookmark or pieces of paper. I fold my books. It's not big fold anyway, it's just sort of the corner, so no big deal. Question number 3. Can you stop reading anytime you want, or do you have to stop at a certain page, chapter, part? Okay, so it depends. If I'm reading a short collection, a short story collection, or an essay collection, or an anthology, I would want to finish the story or the essay, mostly because those are generally like about 20 pages, 30 pages the most, and I don't like to stop halfway between a short story, because I find it a lot harder to get back into, considering how short story is. But if it's a novel, ideally I want to finish the chapter before I just close the book for the end, just to end the day. But if it's like a really, really long chapter and just like halfway through the chapter and I feel like, okay, I kind of can keep up, like pick up from where I left off the next day, then I do that. It also really depends on my reading mood. If I just can't seem to get into the story, I will just stop there. And then I know the next day, because I'm going to restart anyway. So yeah. Question number 4. Why did I pronounce it like that? Question number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading? It is very distracting though for me, so it really depends on what type of food I'm eating. I'm not gonna eat a full meal with my book. Soup maybe, salad, chips, dessert. I'm all for it, but if it's like a full meal, no. For drinks, I would drink with my book. Specifically if it's coffee. I think coffee just goes so well with books. Or tea, one of those. But for me, I'm more of like a coffee girl, so coffee. Like my answers are just... Number 5. Can you read while listening to music / watching TV? No, I can't. I sort of need total silence in order to really pay attention to my book. So no music, no TV. I even sometimes find it hard reading in a coffee shop that plays a lot of loud music, because there are coffee shops that don't play like coffee house music, you know, those like chill, softly playing music. There's coffee shops out there who's like blasting away like the latest top 40 or whatever, and I hate those places. Number 6. One book at a time or several at once? It, again, for me, I feel like all my answers are saying like it depends. But yeah, it really depends. If it's a novel, I try to just stick to one novel and just stick through the whole story. But if I'm reading a selection of separate collections of short stories or essays, and then I would be okay with reading several at once, just because those are like easy to consume type of stories. You can hop from author to author and you're fine, but with novel I feel like you really need to invest almost your time and your mind into just one story and just following them, or else I feel like I mix up characters and scenarios and then I get lost in it, or just favor another novel over the other, and then it's a big mess. But lately though, here's the thing that I'm trying to do, because for me, I find it's a bad habit to just keep reading a lot of books at the same time. So with that being said, lately I've been wanting to try to actually just stick to a book, finish it before I move on to the next one. It's hard. And I think it's because I don't know if it's like my attention span. Most likely it is my attention span, or I get bored and just need another flavor to read. But I don't know. Okay. Reading at home or reading everywhere? If I'm really invested in a book, I would definitely prefer to read it at home, just because I like the quiet at home and just how more comfortable it is to read when you're at home. But with that, I do still like to read anywhere. I just bring my book with me everywhere, wherever I go, and if I have free time, I read there. Most of the time though, I don't, because when I'm out, I usually have things to do when I'm out. My attention is just torn elsewhere, so I don't get much reading done out of the house. Let's set a library, maybe. Okay, number 8. Reading out loud or silently in your head? I don't read out loud, silently in my head, of course. The only time I read out loud is when I write. So when I write my own stories, I tend to mutter, like I'm hexing someone, but I'm not, I'm just reading. If you're writing something, you kind of want to listen to it as it goes down the page, so you can sort of listen to the musicality of your language. But when I'm reading other people's work, I don't need to read it out loud. I think that's quite distracting for me and tiring. So Number 9, do you read ahead or skip pages? I don't skip pages. I think that's, I'm trying to think of a book where I've tried to like skip ahead. And I can't think of a scenario where I would want to skip ahead. So no, I just go page by page. And that's one of those like choose your own adventure type of books, which I haven't read since I was 10. So no. Okay, I like this question. Question 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it new? I break the spine. I have friends who, like, when they read, they keep it like this. And I'm like, how can you read all the text properly? So like I've always said, I like my books looking like they've been read. And I just glad that's what's in my book. Yeah. So break the spine. Question number 11, do you write in books? When I was younger, I used to think that the only way you could really feel like you're reading a book, or really feel like you're immersed in the book, is if you do write in the margins or you underline and stuff like that. And I tried to do that for a while, and I realized it's very distracting for me. Unless though I am studying the book for school, or for a paper, or just I really want to like dive into the text, and that's when I would start underlining and putting in notes. But most of the time, if it's just casual reading, or I'm just, yeah, I don't write on books. I like the idea of it though. I kind of wish like I was the type of person who placed value in like a messy margin, but it just takes up too much time. And most of the time, I just, when I do want to keep notes about certain books that I'm reading, I would just write it after I've read it. Also, I have the worst handwriting ever. Like, even I sometimes can't read my own handwriting, so it basically defeats the purpose of writing a book. So yeah, I don't. And that's the tag, 11 questions. So yeah, and that's it. If you want to do this tag, just do it. It's open for everyone. I'm not tagging anyone, I'm tagging the whole world. If you read and you haven't done this tag, do this tag just for the fun of it. The questions are fun and keeps you sort of thinking about your reading habits. So that's it for today's video. I just really wanted to put a video up and talk a little bit more about books, and so this is it. If you want to see more, please subscribe, like this video, comment, whatever, say hi, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Bye bye bye. I feel like the majority of the time I spend in front of a camera is waiting for a plane to stop flying over my house.